Hello my beautiful viewers on my channel, James Higgins Open World. Well, here it is. It's the last episode of James Higgins Mysterious Universe, episode 10. This is it. This is the last episode. And it's about ghosts. So, episode 9 was about angels. This is about ghosts. Famous ghosts and queens and kings as well. So, let me get started on the first part of this. Just 1 second, right. Windsor Castle, Buckinghamshire, England. Right, here's where I'm going to start. Windsor Castle is without doubt one of the most spectacular castles in Britain, if not the world. Many famous ghosts have been reported haunting the castle, including Henry VIII, Elizabeth I, and a demonic horned being that brings death to all that see it. It has been a royal residence since the reign of William I in the 11th century. In the 13th century, the castle was rebuilt by Edward III, and further improvements have been made by successive monarchs. The castle is almost 1 mile in circumference and is the largest in Britain. Since it was built, the castle has been embroiled in legends of suicide, witchcraft and demonic ghosts. The list of ghostly sightings reported at the castle is huge. Wow, just 1 second and we'll get to it. This is just a brief into Windsor Castle. Are you ready? One of the most famous ghosts reported at the castle is that of King Henry VIII. Guests staying at the castle have reported hearing the king's footsteps along the long hallways of the castle. Some have even claimed to hear moans and groans coming from the hallway. One of his wives, Anne Boleyn, has been seen standing at the windows in the Dean's Cloister. Queen Elizabeth I is said to have haunted the royal library and has been seen by several members of the royal family. The sounds of her high heels are heard on bare floorboards before her imposing figure appears and passes through the library and into an inner room. She has also been seen standing at the window in the Dean's Cloister. She is always dressed in a black gown with a black lace shawl draped over her shoulders. Well, there you go. 2 famous ghosts there. Get that, eh? Anyway, that's Windsor Castle, and we'll get on to the next ghost story. That was a brief history of Windsor Castle here on James Higgins Mysterious Universe, episode 10. So story 2 is coming up now. Hello. Well, here we are. James Higgins Mysterious Universe, episode 10. Story 2. Right, here we go. One of the most notorious ghosts of Balmoral Castle is that of John Brown, servant to the Queen Victoria. They apparently fell in love. However, this remains a matter of conjecture. His ghost is often seen walking the corridors, usually wearing a kilt. Queen Elizabeth II has also reported the feeling of his presence throughout the castle. Well, say about that, eh? Story 2. Let's get on to story 3. Right, on story 3. Here on my channel, James Higgins Open World, and this is Mysterious Universe, episode 10. So here we go. Ordsall Hall, Salford. Right? Ordsall Hall's most famous ghost is the White Lady. Some people believe that she could be the ghost of Vivian Radcliffe, the lover of Guy Fawkes, who supposedly planned the gunpowder plot in Ordsall Hall. Well, can you say about that? Story 3. Bet Guy Fawkes there. Unbelievable, isn't it, eh? Keep watching James Higgins Mysterious Universe, episode 10. And we're coming up to story 4. Story 4 on James Higgins Mysterious Universe, episode 10. So let's get to it. Little Coat House. It's this story, right? Little Coat House sits in 113 acres of beautiful grounds featuring stunning gardens, a heated pool and a fully equipped gym. It is certainly a luxurious setting for a weekend away in the Berkshire countryside. However, it is also the 3rd most haunted building in England and one of the most haunted spots in Berkshire. The hotel can actually be traced back to the Tudor era, and there was also a Roman settlement in the area in the past, so it is easy to see why there are so many spirits attached to the property. One of the most common ghost sightings is not actually a human, but rather a large black dog that sits on the Jerusalem staircase. It is said to look very real, but when anyone attempts to pet it, their hand will just pass right through. There are also many ghost stories associated with 16th century midwife Mother Barnes relating to Little Coat House. She has been seen as a shadowy figure walking on the lawn and also sitting in the corner of one of the bedrooms rocking an infant in her arms. That particular bedroom is the most active in the hotel in terms of paranormal activity. Well, there you go, story 4. Hey, story 4. Let's get on to story 5. Story 5. Donington Castle. Right, let's get to it. Donington Castle now stands in ruins, but it dates back to 1386 when it was built by Sir Richard Aberbury the Elder. It was more or less destroyed during the English Civil War. It is currently maintained by English Heritage and is a scheduled ancient monument. It is also one of the most haunted places in Berkshire. Perhaps the most frequently spotted ghost is that of a guard who stands at the gatehouse. He looks so real that visitors are particularly startled when he vanishes into thin air right in front of their very eyes. Most people have taken him for a guide in period costume until he pulls his vanishing act. There have also been reports of the apparition of a white dog running from the castle towards the woods, only to vanish before reaching the tree line. Visitors have also seen the ghost of an English Civil War soldiers. On at least one occasion, a ghostly firefighter has been witnessed between royalists and parliamentary spectres. One of the most chilling tales was reported by a young group of campers who saw a man dressed as a royalist soldier assaulting a young woman. They of course tried to intervene and ran over to pull him off her, shouting at him to leave her alone, only for both figures to vanish as they get close. Wow! Unbelievable, eh? That was story 5. Wow! Well, let's get on to story 6. Story number 6 here on my channel, James Higgins Open World. And Mysterious Universe, episode 10, the final episode. So let's get to it. Story 6. Windsor Great Park. Right, here we go. During the reign of King Richard II, 1377-1399, a huntsman known simply as Herne was employed by the king, and it is said to be his spirit who is haunting Windsor Great Park even today. The legend goes that the king and Herne were out hunting when they ended up getting cornered by a white hart. The animal was all set to charge the king, but Herne jumped in the way, managing to save the king's life. However, Herne was gravely injured in the incident. The ground bleeding out. A local wizard happened to discover him and used his magic to try and save Herne's life. One of the so-called treatments required Herne to tie the white hart's antlers to his own head. However, the payoff was that Herne would live, but it would be without his skills as a huntsman. He became a close friend to the king, having saved his life, and this made the other huntsmen jealous, so they framed him for theft. This resulted in him being cast out by the royals, and ultimately he took his own life by hanging himself from an oak tree, the same oak tree that stands in Windsor Great Park, and Herne's ghost is often reported in the park as well. Well, there you go, story 6. Herne. Hey, bloody hell, eh? Let's get to story 7, the final story. Just 1 second and we'll get there. in James Higgins' Mysterious Universe, the final story coming up. Story 7, the last story on James Higgins' Mysterious Universe, episode 10. Well, here it is. This is the last story. So let's get to it. Many people have reported seeing the ghost of Roman soldiers in the cellars of Treasurer's house. The best known account comes from a retired policeman, Harry Martindale. Before he joined the police, Henry worked as an engineer. One day, aged 18, he was installing a central heating boiler in the cellars at Treasurer's house. Soldiers emerged from the wall. Suddenly he heard the sound of a trumpet and saw the top of a soldier's helmet apparently emerging from the wall against which he was working. He leapt from his ladder, watching in disbelief as behind the trumpet player plodded a horse and about 20 soldiers walking to abreast. They were carrying lances, round shields and short swords. According to Harry, the men looked tired and dirty. Terrified, he shot upstairs. He bumped into the curator, who said before Henry could utter a single word, "By the look of you, you've seen the Romans." Well, there you go. That's it. James Higgins, Mysterious Universe, episode 10. And the series is over. So thank you very much for watching all 10 episodes of James Higgins, Mysterious Universe. And eventually, James Higgins' Mysterious World will come out. Another paranormal series. So that's it, folks. Episode 10, the series is over. So I'd like to have a massive thumbs up to all who've watched my episodes. So thank you very much to all my subscribers, all 215 of you. So thank you very much. That's it, folks. Bye.